Hi everyone, I am Katie Vickers, the Director of Marketing with Medical Center Barber, and today we are here with Kris-Ann in our blood bank area. I'm going to flip it around and we're going to start with her. She's going to introduce herself and then I'll ask her a few questions behind camera, and feel free again to drop any questions you have. I'll see them and I will ask them for you to her, so feel free again to ask any questions, and let's get started. So hello Kris-Ann. Hi, okay, so we are in the MCB blood bank area right now, and we are gonna talk all about, because this month is National Blood Donor Month, we are gonna talk all about donating blood, and you're gonna take us through that process. So the first question I have for you, and that I'm sure it's on everyone's mind, is why is donating blood so important?
Okay, 1 in 7 hospital admissions will end up getting a transfusion at some point. They will need blood for some reason. And that's very important because there is no substitute for human blood. Science has not been able to replicate it. So we're always needing more blood products. Once blood is donated, it's only good for about 42 days before it goes bad. So we're constantly needing to replenish that stock of blood.
Well, that's awesome. So say I do give blood in our right here at one of the Lifestyle Bloodmobile drives. Who am I actually helping when I donate blood?
Well, you actually help 3 people because 1 unit of blood is spun down into the different components: packed red blood cells, platelets, and plasma. So your one single donation can save 3 people's lives. And the other good thing is those lives, they're local. Lifestyle Blood stays in our community in the Wiregrass area. All of the hospitals in the Wiregrass use the same blood supplier. So that's something I've always liked about Lifestyle.
Wow, so Lifestyle, they help people here in the community. So you're a real life hometown hero when you donate blood at a Lifestyle blood drive. That is awesome. So can you tell me who can actually donate blood? Can anybody?
There are some restrictions. You need to be over 16 with parents' permission. 18 is recommended. But you need to be healthy is the most important thing. And then there's certain other restrictions, travel history and stuff that they'll ask during the donation. But pretty much healthy adult has to have, blood pressure has to be at a certain level, iron levels have to be good.
Okay, so say I've never donated blood before, right? And I don't really know what to expect. What can I expect during my first time giving blood? What can I expect?
Find a local blood drive, and then you get there and they will sit you down and they're going to ask you for an ID first. And then if you have never donated before, they will stick your finger and find out your blood type. Then they will check your blood pressure and your temperature, and then they will ask you a series of questions. And if you meet all their requirements, then they'll take you on the bus and you'll sit down and they will actually perform a venipuncture. That process takes about 20 minutes or so, just depending on you things. And then afterwards, you get a snack and you go about your day.
Well, that is awesome. I always love a snack. A good snack is always good. So, what actually happens at a hospital behind the scenes when someone actually needs blood?
Okay. Usually, when people think about getting blood in a hospital, they think about a trauma. Person's been in a car accident, gunshot wound, that kind of stuff. That only happens really about 5% of the time. Usually, they don't know they need blood, and they come in for other reasons. They're short of breath, or anemic, or they've had some blood work done and it comes back abnormal. So usually, it's not an emergency situation. If it is an emergency situation, the ER calls the lab and we take over type O blood that anybody can get. But if it's not that urgent of a situation, we take a sample of the patient's blood and bring it back to the lab, and then we would spin it down. And first thing we do is find out the patient's blood type. So we spin down their blood, mix it with some reagents, and then it gets mixed again, and then I'm looking for any agglutination or clumping in these tubes, and that tells me what type they are. This patient, for instance, this is A and B, and there's no clumping in either tube, so that means they are type O. So then we take it just a little bit farther, and then you have your RH type, which is the positive or negative after your blood type. And this patient there's no clumping, so they're negative. So this patient is O negative.
Wow.
So then I would take it another step farther and we would look for any additional things in that patient's blood. We do it in these little micro wells, and if there's any reaction, there would be clumping and it doesn't travel that well. Then if all of those tests go as expected, we take a little bit of the unit we're going to give the patient and a little bit of the patient's blood and do the same thing. See if there's any reaction before ultimately we give the blood to the patient.
Wow, that is really interesting. That's very involved in a way that I don't think a lot of people even realize. That's super cool. So, do you know when our next blood drive is in Eufaula?
I think the next one is the 14th, tomorrow at one of the places.
It's Cricket Wireless. Yeah, that's the next
And
one.
I think there's another one next week. There's usually one every week somewhere in Eufaula. Just check Lifestyle website for more information.
Yes, and that's a super easy website to access. All you do is you go to their online Life South website, and then you just type in your zip code, and bam, all of them pop up. And we have our next one on February the 3rd. So if you miss all the ones this month, you can definitely come next month, and we'll be here for you in the Bloodmobile. So, okay, so I have one more question for you. Is there anything I can do to prepare for a blood drive? Like, I want to donate blood. How do I prepare?
If you know you're going to schedule a blood drive, try to hydrate the day before. Drink some extra fluids. That way it just makes it a little bit easier and you have a more pleasant experience. And then remember afterwards to eat your snack and rest up after you have your donation.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much for walking us through all the importance of, donating blood, because it's definitely important. It definitely helps our patients here. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, y'all.